For my money, the films that really won the war were cheap little comedies starring a crack squad of irregular performers. Big-boned comedians in frocks and headscarves. Big-boned comedians in frocks and headscarves. A drunken, dirty old man from the same professional world. V stood for victory, but it also stood for variety. So when it came to licking Hitler, stage turns were as important as the Raffi. This is Norman Evans, one of the men in dresses who were cheap cinema's equivalent of the bouncing bomb.
Funny thing, I was only saying last week. Nay. Ooh, third time on same brick. What did you come dashing out like that for? Well,
does his act seem familiar? That's because once Evans had taken his final curtain, Les Dawson kept his routines and mannerisms alive, preserving them as perfectly as this reel of film.
No, I'll have to go now. Yes, baby, sat in middle of rice pudding. I'll see you later.
Leslie Fuller did his bit for Britain in a dress too, here with everyone's favourite clergyman, O.B. Clarence.
You know, I've enjoyed your sermons for years.
Really? Why, I'm awfully glad.
Of course, I quite understand why you didn't speak to me at first. I know how careful you gentlemen have to be about speaking to strange girls.
Strange girl? Oh, well, yeah, quite.
Yes.
And what are you doing in the great city?
Oh, just shopping, you know. Squandering a few coupons, fiddling under the counter. Are you up on a do? I mean a jaunt?
Oh, no. Far from it. I'm here on a clergy convention.
Oh, you know, you clergy. You do get up to some funny things, don't you?
And here's another cross-dresser who helped to keep the British end up.
Oh, I say, Jack, this is on fire.
Yeah, it's all right. It's meant to be.
I suppose this is what you let the torpedoes up with. Daughter!
Oh, Mother!
I've been struck with a fork of sheet lightning.
Oh, Mummy!
The scrubber on the left is Old Mother Riley, known to the Inland Revenue as Arthur Lucan. The other one is Kitty McShane, Mother Riley's daughter and Lucan's wife. Their relationship was as weird as it looks, but they were box office smashes in the war. The Motion Picture Herald declared them the #2 draw at the British box office. And why? In a time when behaviour was more prescribed than ever before, when messages about being like dad and keeping mum and careless talk costing lives were plastered on every bus stop and bomb site hoarding, Old Mother Riley was the shrieky voice of uproar and anarchy.
You could swallow me, could you?
Yes, I could.
Well, if you did, you'd have more brains in your stomach than you ever had in your head.
I think that the great forgotten stars of wartime comedy were two actual women, two sisters. Their films may have been modest, but there's something about these two, their naturalness, their air of capability, that still seems very fresh. You feel as if they gave voice to the real-life humour of the air raid shelter and the fish queue. Their names were Elsie and Doris Waters, Gert Daisy.
Here, I don't like the look of it. Well, I didn't buy it for its looks. Here we are, pushing. You want to push anywhere, push off. Look out. Oh, my, the butler's behind. Don't look round. She's seen us yet? I think so. What you do, ignore her? Ignore her? No fear. Don't take no notice of her. Not unless she starts something.
I know, dear. And all the price has gone up. Oh.
The price has gone up.
They came from a showbiz family. Their brother was Jack Warner, who later spent 30 years playing Dixon of Dock Green. They were already popular radio performers, so they came to the big screen as ready-made stars. What I like about them is that their humour was actually about the war, rather than providing a distraction from it. This man supplied a more vicious kind of wartime comedy. He's called Frank Randle, and his films were beaten only by Hollywood blockbusters like Mrs. Miniver. In Macclesfield, anyway. Down south, they did nowt. But it hardly mattered. In the north of England, Frank Randle was a kind of savage god, a lord of misrule, an idol of the people in the cheap seats.
Sergeant, go and see that those others come up to their pay correctly.
Very good, sir. Quite right, sir. It's a disgrace.
Say,
A moonlight sonata.
give me that.
Oh, I'm awfully sorry, sir.
Your hand for your pay.
Aha.
Now, what do you think I am, a fortune teller?
I don't know, sir.
No, your other hand.
Stupid.
Your left hand. What's this?
Wherever there was a working class audience, Frank was worshipped because he was a real working class. He was like all the great comedians. He reflected exactly the people who were watching him out front. And that's why he was so big up north, because it's broad Lancashire.
Here, here's a little present for you, from me, just to mark the occasion.
Oh, thanks, sir. I'll wet the baby's heads. I'd like to give you something in return, sir.
Oh, and what would you like to give me?
The twins, sir.
That's enough.
But working with Randle was bloody hell. He hated women smoking. He hated the chief constable of Blackpool, but that was mutual. He hated theatre managers who complained when he shot out the dressing room mirrors with one of his Luger pistols. He hated it when his mistresses left him, so much that he tried to mow one down in his car.
Go back and tell Sergeant Corris that you'll be better in a dog's home.
Dog's home? I used to work in one.
Whatever doing.
Bring a lampposting for the dogs.
Oh, now, come on.
Right, now.
Come on.
Randle's weirdness and cruelty had been harnessed as a weapon of war, a peculiarly British weapon of war. The Nazis would never have tolerated this sort of thing. Once VE Day had come and gone, he got weirder and crueler and couldn't be trusted to turn up for a day's filming. He staggered out of cinema in 1953 and out of life soon after, by which time his kind of comedy and variety had been banished from the screen.